Hello, good morning. Welcome to the class session 10. In the previous session, we have discussed about service models, software as a service and platform as a service. From platform as a service, we understood what is a platform as a service, its characteristics and who are the cloud providers of platform as a service. In today's session, we'll see the remaining points of platform as a service and another service model. So platform as a service options. So platform as a service is found in one of three different types of system. So this is nothing but there are three different types of cloud providers of platform as a service. First one is add-on development facilities. So there are some cloud providers who provide add-on tools or add-on plugins, which using this they can include this in their development applications to develop their softwares or applications. And the existing softwares are customized using these add-ons and plugins, and they need to purchase this by paying some subscription fee. Next is standalone environments. So there are some cloud providers who provide the environment or the platform where many developers gather and they use their own environment. They use the cloud providers environment to develop the softwares or applications or any small units if they want to develop or any small applications. So they are not going to purchase the resources for these all things. They are going to use the environments resources of the cloud providers. Next is application delivery only environment. So this environment supports hosting level services. So the application delivery only environments. So hosting level services through which they can host the websites and security and on-demand scalability. So these all application delivery only environments. Now next we'll see what are the benefits. First one is reduced cost. See, to purchase the resources, softwares or the tools to develop any applications, then we need to invest a lot in that. So instead of purchasing, the cloud providers gives us the platform, gives us the environment where we can apply our skills and where we develop our, where we write the codings and all and we develop the applications. So in the past, developing software was costly. As a result, the hardware skills and experience needed. So now here, this cloud providers of platform as a service allows users to effectively rent the required resources or the infrastructure which they are making available and they are going to pay for that. So limited amount will be paid and they are able to use their environment. Eliminate skills barrier. So businesses don't need to employ specialists to develop their applications. So rather an application can be developed in-house through only web browser. So whatever skills are needed, they don't need any special team and all. So they can inbuild, that means in-house they can develop the applications through the cloud providers. Next is increased collaboration. So in larger businesses, multiple parties may be working on the same application development project. Now here increased collaboration is like many organizations are working together and now many organizations will be tied up with each other and they're working on some project. So many employees come together on one platform where they can use the same environment to apply their skills to develop something or coding. Okay, so it is like together working with the organizations or with the companies. So like this way the cloud providers help this. Next is infrastructure as a service. It is also called as hardware as a service. So this is a form of cloud computing where they offer the virtualized hardware resources on the cloud environment managed by and cloud service providers. So businesses offer services such as pay-as-you-go, storage, network equipment, servers, memory and processors. So one of the organization is having a lot of processors, too much of processing, too much of memories, RAM. So this all they will feed up into the server, and this will be distributed among many clients. So these all hardware resources, network equipments, whatever they need, and memories, processors, RAM. So these will be distributed among many clients through the cloud providers. So with the help of the virtualized technologies, these hardware resources will be provided to them. So characteristics, service level agreements. So this is an agreement between the provider and client guaranteeing a certain level of performance from the system. So service level agreement, so there can be the types of agreements between the cloud provider and client. So whenever the client is subscribing for any resources, hardware resources, then they are going to accept all the rules and regulations given by the cloud providers, and they must be able to pay that much amount because they are renting the resources for some specific period. So this is all service level agreements. When the user accepts these all agreements, then they can able to, then the cloud providers provide them whatever they need. Next is computer hardware. So the resources will be rented out. Service providers have this set up as a grid for easier scalability. So whenever the users need more resources, like they want to scale up the RAM, or they want to scale down the RAM, means memory, they don't want that much memory, or they need more memory. So this will be scaled up and scaled down according to the user needs. Network. So this include hardware for firewalls, routers, load balancing, etc. So users can take this type of resources from the cloud providers which are related to the network. Internet connectivity, this allows clients to access the hardware from their own organizations. Platform virtualization environment. So at the beginning I told you, so through the virtualization technology, processes, computing power will be distributed, RAM, memory will be distributed, network equipment, storage, this all will be distributed through the virtualization software. Utility computing billing, set up to bill customers based on how many system resources they use. So at the end of the month, the bill will be created, or means at the beginning they can show the bill for whichever the services, for whichever the resources they have subscribed. Okay. So who are the infrastructure as a service providers? There is a Amazon Web Services, EC2, Rackspace, Google, Compute Engine, DigitalOcean, Magento, Enterprise Edition. So these are the examples of infrastructure as a service providers. Next we'll see the benefits of the infrastructure as a service. First one is scalability. So as I told you, due to the virtualization technology, they can scale up the resources, they can scale down the resources of any user. So scaling up your system can be done quickly and efficiently. So scaling up, scaling down, this will be done very quickly and efficiently, and it is not going to take much time. Next is minimized hardware maintenance. So minimized hardware maintenance means for maintaining and all, it is going to take less time. Maintaining these all resources on, and also the it minimizes money, that means cost also it will be minimized. Next is reduced downtime. So reduced downtime means recovery from the disaster is also fast. That means if one of the area of that, like suppose if one of your hardware is fail, then no need to wait for a longer time. Immediately the hardware will be available from another area. That means as it will be available on the many servers. So even if hardware fails from one of the server, immediately it will be made available to the user through another area. On-demand access. On-demand, that is whatever the user is demanding, that will be accessed, that will be made available to the users, and they're going to pay for those resources and for whichever they have subscribed. So in this diagram we are comparing on-premises with the infrastructure as a service platform as a service and software as a service. So you can see this blue color indicates what you are managing, and this gray color indicates what others are managing. So on-premises means it can be your PC, your system, or it can be a single organization, or it can be the company. So in this premises, all the modules, see everything how it will be arranged in a form of modules. So all application module, data module, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, server module, storage module, networking. So whatever this is there, this all will be managed by, you are going to manage by your own on premises, if it is your system or it is your organization or company. But as when you are taking the help as a software as a service or infrastructure as a service, first we'll see infrastructure as a service. When you are accessing the infrastructure as a service, so in this the cloud providers manages, that means you are first managing application, data, runtime, middleware and operating system. So you manage only this, and the virtualization, servers, storage and networking, this will be managed by cloud providers. And in a platform as a service, you can see here you are managing only application and data, and remaining all other modules are managed by cloud providers. And if you consider software as a service, in this everything is managed by the cloud providers. So you can see in a software as a service, the customers, means the users of the software as a service, they can just access the interface. Okay, they cannot modify, or they cannot modify anything from the cloud providers. Whereas in a platform as a service, they are giving the developers to develop their own application software. So somewhat they are giving them application and data to be modified. And in infrastructure as a service, they are accessing the resources and all network equipments and this. So they are allowing application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, which they can manage by their own, and remaining others are managed by cloud providers. So in today's session, we have seen the remaining service models, platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. In the next session, we'll come up with some new topic. Thank you.